How to build an AI-based search engine. So building AI search apps is one of our favorite things to do and one of our specialties. We build a number of different AI search apps for various topics. But the one thing to keep in mind that and the reason we call them AI search apps and not AI search engines is that they still use an underlying regular search engine to perform the searches. And this is the case for pretty much all AI search apps at this time. The reason for that is that traditional search engines are still really good at what they do. You put in a query and then it can quickly get a lot of results, and then you could use the AI to look at those results and parse out information to display to the user. So the way this works, you put in a query and then you click to run the query. And so what it's doing here is it's running regular searches with the query to find results. And then there's a step where it takes those results and it goes through and looks at which ones seem the best for what the user searched for. So this is if you're building an AI search app, this is kind of where you first have to start making decisions because when you use the better AI models, they cost more to run. And you can't always afford to have it do a huge amount of processing, like looking through a huge amount of data and then going out to visit all those sites using the best model. So sometimes you have to use a combination of models. You'll have to use maybe a better model to kind of do the initial looking at the results and determining which pages to view. But then you might have to use a cheaper model to actually go out and view the pages. So in this case, it went through and viewed the results, and then the AI parses out information from the page. So that's kind of one of the key parts of building an AI search engine app is that you'll need logic around instructing it how to go to each page and then parse out specific information. So in the case of how we do it, we build all of our apps using Python, and we use JSON schemas and instructions to the AI as far as how to parse out information. And we have to modify these based on the type of page we're looking at and those kind of things. Generally, we found that it's difficult to kind of write generic instructions that work for everything. So that's kind of one of the keys to working with AI search apps is that you have to do a lot of testing with the data structures that you have, and then check that you can actually extract the information that's useful from those pages. So, like in this case, we've instructed it to try to extract different things from each page, like hours, address, amenities, costs, and then we've built kind of a somewhat sophisticated UI that can display these. Um, so the best way to think of it is that AI search apps are kind of augmenting traditional search. So you don't want to just kind of replace what you already get from a search engine. If you're building an AI search engine app, you want to think about what kind of features am I going to add that are AI specific, that I can really do more than a traditional search, and that people are going to be willing to tolerate the trade off because it's going to be slower than a traditional search engine. And it's also going to be constricted in how many results it can return because like if you go to Google, you'll see that it returns thousands and thousands of results. You could go through page after page, but if you actually had an AI search engine app that did that, and every time it ran it had the AI read a bunch of pages, that would get really expensive. You wouldn't want to have it search through 100 pages, at least using a model that's somewhat sophisticated. You could do it with really cheap models, but then the results aren't going to be good. So there's a lot of different trade offs you have to start thinking of in terms of how to build an AI search engine app.